as part of the system. Okay. So we went over currents and gradients. Conversation. So again, we have chemically gated channels. These, 60. I'm going to go over the different type of channels. Page 60, going over the different types of channels. Okay, so our chemically gated channels are when a neurotransmitter binds and opens the gate. So that's literally what's shown here on this slide. The neurotransmitter or chemical unlocks the door or knocks on the door, lets sodium in. Okay? Voltage gated is our action potentials. You have such an extreme change in the charge that it's going to open a membrane. Okay? That one's kind of hard to fathom. It's just these specific channels are very sensitive to the charge of the cell. And if the charge gets too wacky, it'll open, which is good because that's how you can have lots of different action potentials down the axon. Okay? Then mechanically gated is that, again, physically forcing something open. And that's all of our touch receptors, are mechanically gated channels. Because you're literally not breaking them, but opening gates by putting pressure on them. Okay? Action potential. I'm going to have you try to do this table on your own, unless you want to do it together. But see if you can do it on your own. Okay, we went through propagation. Is continuous propagation found in myelinated or non-myelinated axons? Non-myelinated. Perfect. Okay, I kind of jumped over the anatomy of the synapse. It's pretty self-explanatory, but we'll go over it. You'll be tested on it. So, this is our presynaptic neuron. And you can guess postsynaptic neuron. Okay, the synaptic cleft is literally just this gap. It's where those neurotransmitters are going to be expelled from one to the other. So synaptic cleft. Okay, and then neurotransmitters were really just what are found in those little pockets here. And they can be expelled out into this area. Sometimes, these little vesicles, these little bubbles, those are our synaptic vesicles. That's anatomy. I didn't go over that. I probably should have. So you know how I said this is the dendrite of a receiving neuron? Sometimes it's not. Once your impulse has gotten where it needs to go, you don't need more neurons. You need it to affect what it's supposed to affect. So sometimes instead of this being another neuron, this will literally just be a muscle. And it will send its little neurotransmitters into the muscle. Sometimes it's a gland. Here's my gland. That's really all those mean. Yeah. Sweet. And then acetylcholine. What is it? Cholinergic, adrenergic? Cholinergic. Cholinergic. And then what about norepinephrine? Acetylcholine. Cholinergic or adrenergic? Perfect. You might see that up here at some point in your life. So GABA is a neurotransmitter. This is something I skipped over. GABA is a neurotransmitter that comes out and just, instead of being able to open this lock and key, it just kind of sits there and keeps it locked. Okay, so that's GABA. It inhibits any other neurotransmitter from being able to open that door and send another action potential. Okay, so GABA sits in the place of other neurotransmitters and blocks their effect. It makes it so they can't cause another action potential to go down.
Would you like an example of that happening?
So, you're having a ton of pain. Have you ever, stubbed your toe and then rubbed it and it felt better when you rub it? You're releasing GABA into those synapses and literally blocking prostaglandins, or the neurotransmitter that causes pain. Yep.
Is that what gabapentin does as well?
That's a good question. Gabapentin is a psychiatric drug.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think so. Actually, yeah.
It's for neuropathy.
It's for
Yep.
neuropathy.
Yeah.
Yep. So what gabapentin would do is it literally would bind here and make sure you couldn't have any neurotransmitters that you didn't want getting into your neurons.
Okay.
Okay, so that's GABA. It inhibits. It essentially just takes up the space and makes sure that nothing else can happen. So you have on the back side neuromodulators. Those are the same thing as GABA. Those things, they just sit in the place and make sure that you can't have those painful neuro signals coming through. Okay? So your opioids, that's what they do. They literally block that pain from coming through. They block an action potential from reaching the next neuron. And that's why they're effective. If you have a painful stimulus coming down here, if you can just stop it, you're not going to feel it anymore. Yeah? And then dopamine is, just know that it's a hormone, it's a neurotransmitter. If you have bad levels or messed up levels in your brain, it can cause things like ADHD, Parkinson's, lots of stuff. So it's just a neurotransmitter. And then serotonin is your happy neurotransmitter. You have too little serotonin, you're going to be depressed. That's literally what causes depression, is you don't have enough serotonin in your brain. And so you take drugs to either stop serotonin from being broken down or put more serotonin in your brain. Cool, right? It's awesome. So I think I made it through everything. Nitric oxide, carbon monoxide, just go over those. I could say, but you know them. Do you guys have any questions? Doing pretty good?
So helpful.
Good. I'm so glad it was helpful because it's complicated, but it's super important. Sweet. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.